try, they might not be perfect. Even if you err on the side of exaggerating them right now, we're going to really notice these dynamics. Same tempo with the piano if you just hit their parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, go, sing. Good, do that again. We're going to do that twice more, believe it or not. Now, did you notice the tendency to want to put the accent on the downbeat? The tendency, because that's kind of the natural way it feels. But we're not going to do that. We're going to start soft and crescendo with each of these. Here we go. 1, 2, the exact same thing. I'd like you to be at forte on keep. I'd like to be at forte. Write that in. Forte on keep. Forte on, sorry, big F up above that. Great. Let's try it now with Mrs. Thomas playing the accompaniment. So you can just come in on measure 44. The only measure I didn't like is measure 48. We started 48 too loudly. 48 should come down. Also, when you look at a crescendo, and again, these are things you probably work on with your directors a lot and you know about already, but when you look at a crescendo, like for example, top of page 8, everyone look at the top of page 8, go. You're crescendoing all the way through to that downbeat. You see how that's written? All the way through to the downbeat of the second measure. And then you're decrescendoing, right? So your crescendo never doesn't stop until you get to that downbeat. That's just a critical way of interpreting the crescendo and decrescendo. So the crescendo continues, and then to the downbeat, and then you begin decrescendo. All right, with the piano accompaniment, with amazing dynamics this time, crescendoing all the way to forte, and then we're going to sight read on from when tyrants tremble, and Mrs. Thomas will play your notes. 1, 13. Just note that. Don't that. Measure H on page 12. Can we sight read without the piano, and then after you sing your part, you're going to sit down. Sight read without the piano soprano. No storm. Soprano. Music up. Up here. Here we go. 1, 2.
No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging.
Have a seat. Men. 1, 2.
No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging.
Notice you know that part, right? Have a seat. Altos. 1, 2, 3.
No storm can shake.
Altos, I hated storms so much. I just heard this R, and it was so nasty. Altos, look at me. Storm, no storm.
No storm.
Oh, I love that storm. It's so great. Here we go. And 1, 2.
No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging.
Great. I kind of like the 2, half and half, 50%, don't you think? Let's fix that 2 again. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to be picky about it. No storm.
No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging.
Great. So when you go home and your director asks you what you worked on in rehearsal today, you can say, see, very nice. Have a seat. Now, this part here, guys, since I believe, I'm giving myself just a few more minutes, and we're going to try running this in some capacity with, like, this is Thomas playing the notes or something like that. But men, since I believe, I'm going to confess something with you. I wasn't sure what to do with this one page here, dynamically. It doesn't mark that it gets any softer, does it? Right? And at the same time, it kind of mirrors some of the a cappella passages or quasi-a cappella passages that we saw earlier in the piece. And it has certainly that feel to it. But I think we're going to try keeping this strong, maybe like at a mezzo forte, so it has a declarative quality to it. A declarative quality. So even though it is this kind of smooth flowing a cappella section of 3 measures, and then the girls join you in, the altos sing I believe, sopranos I believe, I think it has to have some sense of declaration here for this section. So if we could just sit up tall, men, and we're going to sing Since I Believe. And then you're not going to sing Since I Believe, you're going to sing Since I Believe, right? You're going to always breathe for the end of the phrase, not the you're about to hit. That's a good modifier device. Try. Ready, man? 1, 2, 3.
Since I believe.
Good. You're going to have a little bit more believe to it of a pulse. 1, 2.
Since I believe.
Good. And that is a choice that I'm making for this piece. It's not in there, but we're going to accent believe just a tiny little bit. I think that's going to work. And then girls, on the other hand, as you come in with I believe, I want you to draw in little crescendos in front of each of those, so they kind of sneak in, and then all of a sudden there's this amazingly beautiful layered sound. And then we're also in the mezzo forte that love abides, and then we go down to the piano. Who's not following along? Did we all get that? So, men, declaration. Girls, crescendo in the mezzo forte. We all have a nice strong, I believe that love abides, and then the big crescendo into the dancey, singing, fun little la 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 part, right? All right, so let's hear that, man. Set us up, and then this is Thomas, you can play the other parts, and we're going to keep this kind of in tempo. This it's slower. You can pull back a little bit. 1, 2, okay, here we go. Declaration, man. That was great.
Since I believe.
So that is on beat 4, right? Soprano, you just said that I believe that love. When we read it a second ago, it was way too slow.